Oh, hi. It's a question for Peter. I'm fascinated by your conversion from revolutionary to authoritarian, and so I wanted to ask, how did this turnaround in your personal values occur, and was it an epiphany, or was it a series of doubts that eventually weighed on you and convinced you that you were wrong?
Well, hang on a minute. First of all, revolutionaries are tremendously authoritarian. It's revolutionaries who build gulags and set up the KGB. Revolutionaries are far more authoritarian than I am. But the fundamental reason why I no longer hold the infantile views which I held in my late teens and early 20s is precisely that I grew up. The thing which astonishes me is that so many of my generation did not grow up. And still, while they're drawing their pensions, they have revolutionary opinions and attend Rolling Stones concerts. What is wrong with these people?
How do you hope to bring about the world, to return the world to the state you would like to see it in without
authoritarian
means?
I gave that up long ago.
It would
only make me miserable. I know that you people have won. I just all that I seek to do,
which is why you have to be gay married now and use drugs now with the rest of us.
All that I seek to do is to tell the truth about you and what you want, while it's still allowed to do so, because you are so fantastically intolerant.
What do you mean when you say you people?
I mean the Cultural Revolution. I mean the cultural and moral revolution which has swept the Western world since the collapse of Christianity.
I'm not intolerant.
Has changed our societies, as anybody who's lived through it knows, out of all recognition in the course of 50 years, and in my view, for the worse. He's part of it, she's part of it. For all I know, you're part of it, but I am not.
Okay, now, you're paranoid and you're projecting by saying we are intolerant.
You see, this is the intolerance. I am, because I hold an opinion different from his, he has become suddenly a qualified psychoanalyst who can tell me that my opinions are not opinions which I am entitled to hold, but are a pathology. And this is the absolute seedbed of totalitarianism. When you start believing that the opinions of other people are a pathology, then you are in the beginning.
You're the one sitting there pathologizing other people's choices.
That leads to the secret
You are the
police
one
and the
sitting
gulag,
there saying that society is sick and damaged.
You cannot imagine that
other
anybody
people are
else...
now as free as white men used to be.
You'll have the whole world to yourself, Sid. You can't imagine that anybody else is entitled to hold a view different from yours without having some kind of personal defect. That's what's wrong with you.
Okay,
it's filibustering.
So you get a chance now.
You are absolutely entitled to hold your opinions, but
that's not what you really think.
Well, hang on.
You're just saying that for public consumption.
Peter, let him finish, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah. You sit there pathologizing other people's choices. You sit there saying that other people being free to live their lives by their own light in some way oppresses you when it oppresses you in no way whatsoever. You are free not to get gay married. You are free not to use drugs. You are free not to drink. You are free to stay married to one person for the rest of your life. You are free to stay home and raise your wives' children so they always have a parent by their side. You are not free to sit there and say that other people being just as free as you are to live their lives and make their own choices in some way is damaging you personally, in some way destroying society. People are freer now, happier now. It's a less intolerant world than it used to be because people like me are now empowered to look at people like you and say you are full of shit.
It's a rally.
Okay.
It's a rally.
Hold on. We actually do need to hear...
While you do this, I can't talk. While you do that, I can't talk, and you know it. And that's to your shame. Because silencing opponents is a very wicked thing to want to do.
You've been a lot of things tonight, but you've not been silenced.
This is very personal. I'll reply to it. I am a very rich and fortunate person. And I'm coming towards the end of my life anyway. I can personally escape many of the consequences of this. But most people can't. They can't afford to. And I leave aside some of the things you mentioned, but a society in which the use of illegal drugs is widespread and unrestrained is one in which everybody is affected by the consequences, whatever they themselves do. It's like that ridiculous bumper sticker, don't like abortion, don't have one, to which my reply has always been, don't like murder, don't commit one. The fact is, if a society permits things to happen, which damage the lives of many people who, as I've said earlier, as a result of the selfish unwillingness of those who do those things to recognize that they have
Forcing women to give birth
It
against their
affects
will damages
everybody.
women.
We have those of us who oppose the Cultural Revolution and think that it's a mistake are entitled to say so for the moment.
You are entitled to say so.
For the moment.
You will always be entitled
Okay,
to say so.
we're nearly out of time, I'm sorry to say. I'm going to go to a final question which you'll all be able to respond to, and in your own way. The question comes from Lisa Malouf.
Which so-called dangerous idea do you each think would have the greatest potential to change the world for the better if it were implemented?
Dan, let's start with you.
Oh my
That's a hard
God.
one. You got to give us a minute to think about that.
Population control. There's too many goddamn people on the planet. And I don't know if that's a... You know, I'm pro-choice. I believe that women should have the right to control their bodies. Sometimes in my darker moments, I'm anti-choice. I think abortion should be mandatory for about 30 years. That's a dangerous idea. She wanted a dangerous idea. So throw a chair at me.
That is a very dangerous idea.
I actually have to think about it for a minute. I
Okay,
have
let's go to
think about it.
Jermaine.
Well, I'm always in the same place. The most dangerous idea, the one that terrifies us the most, is freedom. To actually be free is, to most human beings, disorienting, terrifying. But it's the essential bottom line. If you want to be a moral individual, you must be free to make choices, and that includes making mistakes.
Peter.
The most dangerous idea in human history and philosophy remains the belief that Jesus Christ was the Son of God and rose from the dead. And that is the most dangerous idea you will ever encounter.
I have to agree with that. Just quickly, I think you can't really leave it there. Why dangerous?
I can't really leave it there because it alters the whole of human behavior and all our responsibilities. It turns the universe from a meaningless chaos into a designed place in which there is justice and there is hope. And therefore, we all have a duty to discover the nature of that justice and work towards that hope. It alters us all. If we reject it, it alters us all as well. It is incredibly dangerous. It's why so many people turn against it.